Welcome to another episode of Stack and Scale. I'm Brandon Redlinger, and today I'm pumped to be having a conversation with Sam Calhoun. And Sam is actually a partner of mine, along with J.K. Sparks, over at The Forge. And if you're not familiar with The Forge, it's a marketing community for marketers who want to stay up with the latest and greatest in AI. So similar to what I'm doing here at Stack and Scale, but it's a community built on the Circle platform. And anyway, Sam Calhoun is a real expert when it comes to AI workflows, and he has his own consultancy around building AI workflows. And today what he's doing is building a pretty simple one for us with N8n and connecting a Notion database. And there's a lot that you can do with just that setup, but he's walking us through everything that you need to know to get started. So here's the JSON code that you can import right into your own N8n instance, and here's where you go to connect your API keys for hooking up Notion, and here's where you go to hook up your API key for ChatGPT, and then now here's how to walk through the entire setup. So it's a pretty easy one that actually just gets you started with using N8n, because a lot of people that I talk to think N8n is just this very complicated, very technical tool. While it can be overwhelming, there's actually a lot of cool things that you can build right now pretty quickly and easily that's actually useful for you as a marketer. And we'll have Sam on in the future for a little bit more complex builds, and we'll build on the top of this and then make it even more useful for B2B marketers. But anyway, that's enough of me talking. Here is my conversation with Sam Calhoun. Sam, welcome to the show.
Brandon, thanks for having me.
Dude, yeah, I'm stoked to have you on here. So, okay, tell the audience what we're building today.
So today we're going to build a chatbot that can interact with a Notion database based on your proprietary information. You technically could build a custom GPT out of this, but I've found that the Notion to OpenAI connector is actually kind of problematic at times, and I feel like that this can be a little bit more of an accurate way of doing that. You can also add on a Slack connection to this, so you can have a direct Slack channel for new hires, people who want to learn more about the company, to actually interact with directly within Slack instead of having to go to a custom GPT or a portal on your website.
Yeah. You know, I love that, because that's where B2B marketers are, but so many N8n templates that are interactive, like the interface is Telegram, but who uses Telegram in B2B marketing?
And as someone who has used Telegram for other things, it is just full of spam. So
dude,
you should not use Telegram.
The first time I logged in, I kept getting calls and all of these messages from Elon Musk, and then there was a voicemail.
You didn't pick up on Elon? Come on.
Yeah, I know. It's like there was a voice note, and it was like, "This is Elon. Don't be afraid. You can give me a call back." I was like, "Get out of here." Anyway.
Weekly one-on-ones with Elon, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, cool. And this is exciting. Feel free when you're ready to share your screen. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Let's do a quick infinite mirror situation.
Yeah.
And then, all right. So first off, with N8n, you have all these templates available to you already. So what I tend to do, N8n's template database, if you search within it, it can actually be kind of difficult. But if I generally give Google what I want and I just say N8n template at the end, I'm going to get pretty close to what I want. So I kind of skip past these YouTube channels from the N8n bros. And then this is actually one that I found personally that has been pretty helpful for me. I actually use this for a workflow I built for my physical therapist, actually. But I'll go into here. And you can see here that a lot of these you can just pull for free. So there are a lot of developers, a lot of them work for N8n that are building a lot of different templates that are just great bases, templates to be working off of. So what I can do here is I can use for free and then just like copy it to my clipboard. And then go into my N8n account, and then I can just Command V, and I now have access to the entire template, and I can update it as I need to.
Yep.
So I'm just going to kind of delete these guys. A lot of them come with instruction information. I'll just kind of keep this in case I have issues, but for the most part, this is a pretty straightforward template.
Okay, cool.
So the way this works is it receives a chat within this portal here within N8n. Again, you can add in a Slack chat, Telegram chat if you want to go that route. You can also add in a webhook so that someone can interact with this database on your website. If you create an internal link, you can do that. But really, all you have to do is start setting up Notion database connections as well as OpenAI just to start.
Can you also like would this also work if all of your internal docs are in it's like Google Doc upload a
Yes.
Drive folder and then put everything centralized in that one
Yes.
folder and then
So
you hook up?
yeah,
Yeah.
you can rip and replace Notion with Google Drive. You can also replace it with Airtable. That's another
Yes.
very common use case here.
Yep.
I find that Drive can be a little finicky if you're just kind of giving it access to the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can also specify the individual folder that you or
Exactly.
the individual file that you want to be looking at. So that can be a little bit easier there. But also generally, the way Notion and the way Airtable specifically organize information is a lot more legible for LLMs to
Mm.
look up the information within instead of a Google sheet. Okay, not great. And then the ideal is a RAG database, which is a whole other conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, cool. So I'm going to go into here. And I'm just going to test out creating my own new credentials. So I go in and I try to make a new Notion API connection. I realize I need an internal integration secret. After Google searching, you can definitely find this. I will give you the answer right here too. So
But
the way you do this is you go into notion.so/profile/integrations. It's pretty hard to find within your Notion account, but this is just kind of a shortcut I have handy. And then all the rest of this is for the Notion marketplace, but really what we care about here is the integrations part. And then I just click new integration, and I'm just going to do test integration 2. And then I'll associate it with my own workspace and then hit save. Nope, don't want that. And then I can go to the integration settings. And then right here, I have access to this integration secret. Let me see if I can just copy and paste it from here. See if that works. Oh, nope, never mind. I need to show it. So I can show this, and then I can copy it to my clipboard. Go back in here, paste it, save.
all right, boom. And there we
Boom,
go.
boom. Now, all my password managers want me to save it, but we're just going to leave that there. Now we need to connect OpenAI. So you are able to access an API account with any paid OpenAI account that you already have. That is also a special link you need to get to. That's a little bit difficult to find. I often have to go back into Google and search OpenAI
Yeah.
API
Exactly.
account.
It's not obvious where you go to get
It's
it.
not super obvious. So you have to go to platform.openai.com.
And we'll link all these too in the show
We'll
notes.
link all these too for sure. But once you're in this kind of special looking page, you go to settings and then you go to API keys and you can create a new key. So here I'm just going to do burner API key because there's no way I'm going to let y'all use this. And then I'll just go to default project and create the secret key. Okay, now I'm going to copy this and then be done with it. I'll go back into my workflow here and open up my OpenAI node. And I'll just create a new credential so you can see what that looks like. And save.
Sweet.
All right. Nope. Nope. Get out of here. And then, so the way this works is it pulls in the database details and it formats the details from Notion into a way that the agent can reference. I also need to be able to give my agent access to the database. Usually once you've connected this starting node, it can automatically read in the other agent tools. So I'm going to confirm, yep, Notion test account, make sure that we're connected using the same one. Okay, this is Notion account. I mean, it's really all the same because I built them all, but just for consistency
Yeah.
here. Okay, great. So this template does come with a sample database that I've pulled in to my workspace already.
Mm.
So these are common onboarding questions, common HR questions, data security, that kind of thing, where if someone in a pinch doesn't want to reach out to their director or their manager, maybe they're out of town, and they feel like it should just be kind of documented somewhere. Yes, something like this would be available in Notion, but if you're in Slack and you just want to get a quick answer, this would be a great resource to kind of plug into that.
Yep.
So we can test it out here and then kind of see how these connections are working. So I can start out with, I'd like to onboard a new hire. What's the process for this? And then just kind of see how this goes through the flow.
Waiting for you to wait. It's too small. I can't read that.
Wait
What
a
does it say? Oh, submit the
minute.
chat. Oh, I see. Okay.
So I just submitted this chat and it's telling me it's waiting for me to submit the chat.
Yeah.
Let me try this again. Welcome to troubleshooting.
Exactly. That's half of just what these
You're
workflows
kidding
are,
me.
right?
Yeah, seriously. Really? Okay, so there's something wrong with this chat pulling in. Initial messages. Interesting. Test chat. This was not the thing I was expecting to have issues with.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. Let's see. So in this instance, this is a great reason to go into ChatGPT, and I
Exactly.
have a N8n assistant custom GPT already set up here. This is publicly available.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
it
figured
actually
they'd
did
have
work.
something like that,
Okay,
right?
so let's
Oh, okay.
run. It's actually worked out now. I think it was just kind of delaying. Let's see if this works
It
again.
worked itself out, maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, shouldn't take this long though, right?
Correct. It should not. Here, let me. So this is saved. Let me just refresh this. Sometimes if I'm having issues.
Just a quick refresh.
There
Oh,
we
there you
go.
go.
Okay.
See? Yep.
Great. Awesome. So this is a great thing because now it's giving us actual information about what's the issue. Cannot find database with ID.
Oh, do you need to select the database that it's looking for?
I already have it. Oh, I already have it accessible. Oh, yes. Here's why. So when you connect your Notion database, you also have to go into the database itself, go into settings,
Oh, yes.
and add a connection. And then connect. Integration to confirm. Okay. Now what I can do is I go back. May need to refresh this. We should have access to this company knowledge database. Let's execute from here.
Then rerun.
Boom. Now we're good. Now we're
There we
cooking.
go.
All right. So let me try this one more time here from the start and then see where we can go. So now it's pulling in.
There we go.
Awesome. And then it actually will link directly to
There you go.
the part of the database that answers that question.
That's great. I love it.
So you can play around with the system message in here. I'll expand it a little bit. So you can customize different ways that you want it to answer. If you want it exclusively to look at the database, if you want to pull in broader information from the LLM as well, if there isn't a good answer that it can find within the database, you can have it give like a general best practice, and then also be very clear that which information is coming from the database and which information is coming from just general recommended knowledge.
Mm.
So that's there are a lot of different ways. This is going to be one of the key areas that you can kind of make this what you want it to be, outside of obviously providing information in the database.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've actually found when I've been using this template that it looks within the Notion database and it never uses this tool. I just kind of keep it because it gives the agent some more options
Mm.
for what it wants to be able to utilize. But it does have a window buffer memory here too. What that means is I can then, within a 15-minute window, that's the default setting,
Yep.
I can then chat back based on the conversation I've already had here, and then ask clarifying questions on like where's the HR portal, or follow up with some other information that's more relevant, and could potentially update its answer. So
Yep. And is there any reason why you wouldn't just do like days or all time or anything like that? I also know some of the other options are like previous 20 chats
yeah,
or, is
yeah.
there any reason why you wouldn't just maximize it? Does it take up more tokens or more memory or more?
Yes, it definitely takes up more tokens, and I think especially if this is going to be implemented um, organization wide, it
Mm,
won't be
mm,
able to distinguish between who had chats discussing what. And so it would all just kind of be overloaded with all these past chats every single time someone sends a new one. And it'll just it'll operate slower. It'll get more confused. It'll start referencing stuff that was never relevant to the
mm,
immediate
mm.
person that's asking. Um,
Yeah, so just start
so
start chatting all over again new.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
So that's kind of
okay.
why like the default is a time range, or like a past 20 chats kind of thing,
Yeah.
just so it can stay relevant, but also not use too much system memory and power.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That makes
hmm
sense.
Awesome. And then I don't need to share anymore. I hope that was helpful. I hope that kind of showed how N8n kind of works. And again, make Zapier, even LangChain operate in a similar way with varying levels of complexity. It's all about making sure that you're getting the connections right. And every single tool out there has a different process. So you saw Notion, you also had to directly connect the database
Yep.
within Notion to that integration. Whereas OpenAI is just an API key. Slack, you have to make that API connection, but also create a Slack app to be able to read and write within a Slack channel in the way that you'd want it to. And so also Google Drive is pretty similar where you have to create a Google app. And so it's a little bit more complex and technical.
Yeah, and yeah, for the sake of just the scope of this episode, yeah, we'll stick with this. But if people want to go further, we'll dive into this in the Forge community, which we'll tell you
Yeah.
a little bit more about later. But okay, talk to me about some other use cases here. So, could this be used for like, you put your brand book in here, and anyone in marketing, they need to know, hey, what is our our marketing approved 50-word description
hmm
or that sort of thing, right? Like there's a lot of different marketing specific use cases that we can actually pull Notion in for, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Brand books, messaging guidelines. Yeah, really anything that is something that's standardized across the company, even like ways we talk to clients, something like that, where it's like, okay, what kind of tone should I be taking with this client based on our organizational tone? And you can put in maybe your very angry response, and it can rewrite it in a way that
Yeah,
might be a
yeah.
little bit more
Good one.
acceptable for a client communication and keep you on brand while also conveying the message that you need to.
Yeah, and then another thing within the N8n and Notion integration is you can actually choose either workspace, or you can actually specify just look at this specific table too, right? So
Yes.
there's different levels of how you actually connect it within Notion itself.
Yes, totally.
Cool. All right, love it. Okay, anything else? Any other tips for people using this specific N8n workflow?
Be patient. Uh,
Yeah.
Whenever I'm building a workflow, something weird always happens when I'm initially building it. Even if I use a template, like you just saw, the chat wasn't reading in properly. Sometimes you just need to refresh it. Uh, and it's the equivalent of unplugging it and plugging it back in.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just
Turn
you
it
just
off,
kind of
turn
need
it back
to start
on.
fresh,
Yeah.
go from there. Just make sure you save it. That's another thing I've found, that N8n doesn't have an autosave, and I've gotten burned by that more than once.
Yes.
So be
Yes,
sure to
likewise.
always be saving, and don't get overwhelmed. There are lots of resources out there to be able to troubleshoot these issues.
Yeah, yeah. Build one step at a time, save
Yeah,
it, and then go into the next one. And
yeah,
yeah,
totally.
yeah. Love it. Sweet. Cool. All right. Ready for our rapid fire round, Sam?
Let's roll. Let's do it.
All right. Sweet. What is your current marketing AI tech stack?
Yeah. So N8n, obviously. I prefer OpenAI. I think it covers basically all the bases I need it to
Yeah.
personally. Sometimes for coding questions with N8n, I'll probably also try out Gemini if I'm not getting the answers I need to from the N8n custom GPT. And then Perplexity for any real time research that I'd like to be doing for potential clients, that kind of thing. I'm very lean. I'm a solo person. So I'd love to graduate to Apollo or Clay or something like that. But for right now, Perplexity gives me the information I need just fine. Working in HubSpot, I have my OpenAI connected to my HubSpot. I also have N8n connected to HubSpot. So I'm able to play around with that connection quite a bit too. And then, like I also mentioned, I'm connected to my Slack as well. And so I actually have a search term report tool that I use for one of my own clients for paid media
Mm,
that pulls in a CSV file of search terms in the last 30 days. I send it to OpenAI, and it gives me a readout of the terms I need to be negating, terms I should be adding, and it
mm.
sends that to my Slack. That's probably the most full circle workflow that I've built so far for my everyday work.
Nice. I love
Yeah,
it. I love it. Cool. All right. Where do you go to keep up with the latest in AI?
lots of YouTube. I think it's I've learned how to decipher what's hype and what's helpful in YouTube. There are a lot of people on YouTube who are able to walk through specific issues within N8n, connecting APIs, building specific workflows, building specific use cases. I found that helpful. There are a lot of use workflows out there that truly just don't do anything that anyone ever asked to do. They're just building it to build it. So
Yeah, and it
that
looks
is
all
my
fancy, and then you
caveat
try to
with
deploy
YouTube.
it. Doesn't work.
Totally.
Yep.
Yes. And so definitely on YouTube. And then also I get updates from TLDR. They have specific AI
Mm.
news. And then also I'm just looking around in these platforms, and even very recently realized that there's a direct connection to Notion that I hadn't seen before with OpenAI, and then tested it out, and it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. So
Yeah.
it's just like things are always changing. It's just kind of existing within these platforms as much as possible that will allow you to learn and grow as much as you can.
Yeah, you just got to play around with it and figure out, like, troubleshoot this. And then when you figure out how to troubleshoot that, the next time it comes up with a different tool or a different node or a different,
Totally.
integration, you have that muscle to go figure out, okay, this was what it was in that other thing that I ran into, but
Yep.
now it's probably something similar. Let me go to this page or
Totally.
whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, love that. All right, last question. What's your biggest challenge right now with AI?
I think learning what AI still is deficient at.
Mm,
I think there is definitely this push, especially on marketing LinkedIn, of how, whoa,
yeah.
AI can do everything. And
Yeah, yeah.
Personally, I've never been a huge fan of using AI for content creation. I'm a huge fan of using
Totally
it
agree.
for content editing, content ideation,
Yeah,
getting
brainstorming.
past writer's block, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Um, but so like kind of like creating fence lines around what am I going to handle myself, and then what am I going to allow AI to handle for me. But then also, even within my search term report, I found that if I was just giving the whole CSV to OpenAI, it was giving me different answers, even with the same CSV file, and I was in with different runs. And so what I found is I had to have a rules-based approach initially,
Mm,
where if it contains certain irrelevant terms, it's a very logical if-then pull these terms out, say you don't want them, and then put the rest of them into OpenAI, where the lateral thinking is a little bit better and it can truly think like a strategist based on what it knows about my client and about the context of the industry. And so just always be testing and never trust what it's giving you.
mm.
And that takes effort. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not the most fun, but um, over time, you'll being able to understand what it's good at and what it's not will make you a more effective strategist and user of these AI tools.
Totally. Like I feel like the people who are going to do well in the future with AI are the people who are going to understand the actual models, right?
Hmm.
And it's not the people who can necessarily like know how to use this one tool. It's the model itself and the underlying rules of the models, right?
Totally.
So
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Sam, where can people connect with you, learn more about you, and work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on LinkedIn, Sam Calhoun. Pretty simple. Also, you can find me on my website, growthpilotllc.com. Feel free to set up a chat. I'd love to connect with you, get coffee, and yeah, we'd love to learn more about how you all are using AI.
Perfect. Love it. Thanks, Sam.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Brandon.
Yep.